getting ready to graduate 2008. Mark,
Well,
876, right in that
well,
time frame, or
five
right?
undergrad, and then '09 MBA.
Right. So you're
living
going out
through
into
it.
a market
Yeah.
that's
Oh my
just
God.
a mess.
Yeah.
So you had to kind of navigate that as well, but you figure it out, and then you end up latching up with Ameriprise. So
Yeah, so after I think it was 2011, right? So I actually was fortunate to be able to ride out much of '08, the economic issues of '08 at the university. Great time to be a student as well for many reasons. A couple of national championships, '06, '07, '08, working here. Um, but having that stability gave me an opportunity to really learn and really grow. When I eventually made the decision that it was time to kind of find that convergence of my passion with business and that, I looked at my internal network first, right? And so they'll teach you this maybe when you get into career development and things like that, or looking for a job. Look at your internal network. Who do you know? Friends, family, fools. Same thing with entrepreneurship, with your first investments. And so I was fortunate. Yeah.
what do we call that? Anybody remember from exam 1? In the entrepreneurship method, what are we evaluating? Means at hand, right? So before we go do anything, who do we know? What do we know? Who's in our network? Et cetera, et cetera. Absolutely. Sorry, continue on.
Yeah. So absolutely, and so my dad, fortunately, had built a pretty substantial financial advisory practice, and I knew, number one, I didn't want to do that, right? I didn't want to be a financial advisor, but I knew I loved technology, and I knew I loved implementing technology and creating value around that for organizations, for people, right? Where you can clearly see the connection between the work you do and the outcomes that work has. So they shipped me up to Minneapolis, Minnesota on January 3rd, 2011. It had just been probably good 2 feet of snow on the ground, and here I am, a Florida kid in a brand new place, brand new city, taking on this new role at Ameriprise, starting as what they called a senior business systems analyst, which basically means nothing. It is a generic term that says, we're going to hopefully find something for you to do, but now you have to prove to us that you can actually do something. So started in that role, got tossed around actually between a few leaders. My leader actually left like a year and a half later, so I got a new boss who actually is now the second in command of the technology organization. So a lot has happened, and I'll say this, I'm one of the rare people that, at least in my circle, who has been with the same organization for 12 years, for longer than 10 years, right? 12 years total, and grinding through those challenges to slowly climb that ladder, right? It is not a fast process. It takes a lot of emotional capital. It takes a lot of energy, right? You have frustrating days, you have great days, right? But at the end of the day, right, I could still tie what I did to the outcomes that made a difference. So growing the career, building that up, learning new things, right, continuing to double down on my passion of IT, technology, the changes that are going on in the technology world, right, being able to use the business acumen and knowledge I had about how to run small businesses within a big business, right? What we talk about is corporate entrepreneurship, and alongside that, corporate innovation, right? So the way I kind of describe this is I am a serial entrepreneur within a large corporate entity, right? My job is to sit down with my business partners, sit down with my team, and try to solve problems for them, right? Those problems that need to be solved, right, have to have a plan, right? They have to have a market. We have to market it. What's the purpose, right? Who's going to soak this in? Who's going to buy it? Who's going to use it, right? What's the value, right, that we're going to provide, right? We have to go through the process of setting forth who's going to own it, right? Who's the quote-unquote team of people who will eventually own this product that we're creating. So there's a lot of similarities to pure startup entrepreneurship, small family business startup, and all of those things within the corporate environment. And
So,
yeah, go ahead.
identify opportunity on a
You got
daily
it.
basis and assess it.
Yep.
Got to convey a vision to somebody.
You got it.
Got to create value.
Correct.
You got to mitigate risk.
Correct.
Got to be resourceful.
Correct.
Because they don't just give you a blank check to do
Correct.
anything.
Yep. We have a board.
Right. You got to be resilient. You got to have self-efficacy. You got to be persistent and tenacious. All of these things, associated with entrepreneurial competencies that we say can translate anywhere.
Correct.
You don't just have to launch a company. And each and every one of you who go to work for SunTrust or Ameriprise or Procter & Gamble or any local restaurant in Gainesville or a nonprofit, you have to think entrepreneurial.
Got it.
And that's what you have to demonstrate to be able to sell yourself to the company, because at the end of the day, it's all about finding new opportunities and generating revenue, right?
You got it. Absolutely, 100%. And